Hello, beautiful listeners. Welcome to your least favorite podcast. I am thrilled to have you listening to this episode, joined by some of the cast of 2018's drama comedy Hichki. We will be covering the whole culture of acting, media, and the arts, as well as speak on a little bit of the inside scoop, what goes down in Bollywood. With all that being said, let the three talents introduce themselves. We only have one here right now. Hopefully, they slowly join us. Firstly, though, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you? First of all, Happy New Year's to
Right
your
back at you.
audience and to you. And thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. We're excited to have you on and learn more about the movie you were in and your artistic creative mind. So, first, I want to know and understand first your name and obviously the character you played in the movie Hichki.
So, my name is Harsh Mayer, and the character I've played in Hichki, that is Atish Ansari. That is one of the important part in the film that people really loved and admired. And I'm really glad that I got that part as an actor. And yes.
Lovely. How do you prepare for a character like the one you did, where you are aggressive and you're mean and you all this negative energy? How do you channel into that and make sure you don't take that negativity home to your loved ones?
That is a very good question that you have asked because there are two type of actors. So one is method actors that they go into a full process of how they want to execute themselves, how they want to behave someday. They lock themselves in rooms and they do all that stuff, and that works for them. I'm the second one. I am the spontaneous one. So that works for me because if I prepare a lot, that is not going to work for me at all. So whenever I'm on set, whenever I got some script, I make it very neutral in my mind. I have to do it because if I give it so much pressure on that particular character or particular scene or particular line, that is going to mess things for me, and I am not able to perform anything. So I make sure that if I'm doing something, if I'm acting, if I'm on set, or so I just make sure I do it on a very spontaneous level, or I just read it and do it how the atmosphere is. So that's how I don't let affect those things on me, and I do it because I am an actor. I can perform it 100 times. That's what I believe in. I don't need any practice or 100 days without people to perform a negative character or an aggressive character or a happy character or whatever or a psychopath, because that that how it works for me.
Yeah. And
But I don't. But I wanna add to it. I wanna add to it. I don't oppose the other actors because that is their way, getting into things, and I really truly respect it. And yeah, that is not something which I do. Yeah.
for you, yeah. I know there's some controversy on method acting and the approach to it, if it's safe, if people should be doing it. And I appreciate and love how you respect the other style people choose. We are continuing and we just are joined by Vikrant. If you don't mind quickly, Vikrant, to tell us what character did you play in the movie Hichki?
So my character was Killam, and he was a sidekick to Adesh, and which was played by Harsh Meyer, a very generous actor, really good actor, and we had a really good memories. And the character was like these two guys. The whole there was this bunch of kids of 14 kids, like there are 14 kids, and they were very notorious. They come from a small families, lower middle class families, and the whole class was very notorious. And then there were these two guys, Atish and Killam, who were like the leaders, so-called leaders, and not so-called leaders, but still people who perceive it like that.
I see it like that.
And they were like they
You're
were like
contradicting your statement. Contradicting. On the other
sorry
hand,
sorry
you're saying that they are leads. On the other, they so-called leads.
And no, it's not like
Just
that. It
joking.
was
Yeah,
not
tell
like
me.
that. People would perceive it like that. That these two guys are influencing the whole group. You can see in the movie that
Mm-hmm.
these two guys, mostly Atish, would influence the group.
Yes, and I have to say, I think I can speak for the audience that you two were truly beloved by the audience. You were, uh, your character Vikrant was very like adorable, and people just like wished for him and his success. And then your character Harsh was very like devious, but people were intrigued by it. They were like, he's gonna challenge, he's gonna like break the system, he's gonna make it better, and people had hope and faith in what you would maybe make better for youth and kids. And I think that's why people love both of your characters so much. They complemented each other. You guys need each other. I want to say really quickly that this episode hits home for me because I love learning, but I'm a student of learning disability. Like I have like in my brain, like it's tough for me to learn and like take in concepts that other students can take in easily. And I also love media and movies, so mixing the two is just very exciting. Real quick, before taking on the roles that you guys did for Hichki, did you guys know what tics in English or Hichki in Hindi was? Did you know what that was a thing?
Before starting this film, I didn't know that Tourette syndrome is a thing. So I got to know, while making this film, and learning so much from a biggest star of this country, Rani Mukherjee, as an actor, and about this syndrome. So I got to know about this while making the film. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here. Even I didn't know about the Tourette syndrome. It was when we heard the story, like there are this Tourette syndrome, there are tics, and the words were written, and we were like, "What is this?" And like then we got to know, then there is, it's called Tourette syndrome, and it's based on a person. And even that movie has been released, I guess, in America. Like I don't remember the name of that movie, but. Then I got to know that okay, this kind of a syndrome is really exist. It's not that we are making something unusual, which is not unreal. It's really based
That
on
film name is Front of the Class. Front of the
yeah,
Class.
front of the class. Front. Thanks, bye. But it was front of the class, and there we got the idea. Okay, this is what we are. This is on what we are making movie, and then yeah, when we saw the performance, like when Rani ma'am did it in front of us for the very first time, I remember, still remember. It was in the classroom where we were doing the presenting thing, presenting attendance thing. That Atesh presents, present ma'am, Killam present. That was our very first scene. And when she did that tics, we were amazed. Like she was like outstanding. And we, when the scene got over, we were like, wow, this is something we never ever watched, like in the live and never in the life. So it was that.
She was really good into it. And I also want to add one thing that, even today, after making a film like Hichki, I want people to know more about, Tourette syndrome, or like more disabilities. Like they didn't even know about it, how things works,
Mm-hmm.
and how these things, operates, because they think that it's some kind of a joke, or people are literally doing hiccups or something. So I want people to know more about it, and that is my concern, because outside of India, people are more aware about mental health and everything, because in India all these things are still growing, and people are still learning about it. And I want to people learn about it more quickly than other things. Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
Agreed, agreed. All agreed to all your points, and that there is more awareness here in North America, but we're still so behind to the point where I didn't know what Tourette syndrome was until a year back, a year ago. So we're definitely behind. We lack, and I think we need more movies to put more awareness on the social issues or struggles that are like Tourette syndrome. Real quick, could you guys tell me how your relationship was with school? Was it a positive one? Did you struggle? Did you enjoy the environment of school?
When I was an average student, it wasn't like that. That oh, this guy is something. scholar or something like, good in studies. I used to get zeros in Hindi, in Marathi, and I used to struggle a lot in school. But then I got an opportunity to act in front of people, and then I got opportunities in this field, and that's where people started knowing me that okay, this guy is something, that he is something doing extracurricular activities. And environment, yes, see, from the place where I come from, education is like isn't taken too seriously. Okay, we weren't given proper guidance in the subjects, and we used to do a lot of things by our own self, uh, self study and stuff like that. So in school I didn't explore much myself, but in college days, and as I am aging, I am exploring myself more than in school. So yeah.
Lovely. And yourself, Harsh?
Yes. So I was a very bad student. I was not really good at studies. But at that time, I used to do theater. So, somehow I can make fool of my parents that I'm doing something.
Mm.
Because, so that is the reason I joined theater that time. So I can, avoid studies. But my school life was very fun. My friends were really good and all of that. But I really don't like studies. So I always wanted to pursue acting because somehow I got hitched to acting when my uncle introduced me to theater. So from then and even now, even if someone asks me, "Do you miss school? Do you miss studies?" So I said no. I'm a 11 dropout. So yeah, so
Fair enough.
not very, not something there to
Yeah.
tell you
No,
that
but
is my story. Yeah.
it's hard to like school when they don't really support you and they expect you to take the information like robots or machines. So I actually respect your answer and the honesty.
I feel in schools that this is what I think. In schools, they teach you competition. They don't teach you to support each other. They always teach you competition. This is what I got from my school life. They always teach you to be on a first rank, second rank, and third rank. What about other people? What about the other students? Are they not good? What about them? So this was my complaint my whole life with the school. So that's why I couldn't study. And also, like, theory is not my cup of tea. So I'm very fond of practicals. And if you tell me a story, if you teach me that way, I can learn it. And if you are telling me there is a thing here, you can read it and learn it, so I can't do that. Even it happens with my scripts also. When it comes, I always give to someone, can you please read it for me, because I can't do that. So yeah, that's how I function. But some people are really good in academics, like my wife is really good. So she has two master degrees and everything, and I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah.
Yeah. It's not everyone's cup of tea, especially the way that it's set up. Do you guys mind telling me some of the influences you guys have when it comes to acting? Who do you look up to it for examples?
Well, this question has doesn't have a single answer, because there are a lot of good actors in Bollywood, whether we say Hollywood, Bollywood, Tollywood, even in the South Indian industry, like Allu Arjun. Then there is NTR Junior, Rajnikant. So personally, if I would say, I admire the actors are like Paresh Rawal, Rajpal, Shah Rukh Khan, then Hrithik Roshan, because everyone has different qualities, different uh, mindset, where different environment where they come from. So I mostly I admire Shah Rukh Khan because the presence what he has right now, the hype that he is having, like every person, not every person exists, but 70 or 60% on this people on this globe knows him. Like he's the Shah Rukh Khan, and he's a Badshah of this Bollywood. and it's whenever I see him on screen, I always admire him. It's like watching your legend on screen performing, and it's like something different. And when it comes to Paresh Rawal, when he does this comical things, like his movies like uh, Bhul Bhulaiya, maybe say Awara Pagal Divana, many movies he hasn't. But when he performs, you forget that you are watching an actor. It's like you are watching a real life situation which is happening in front of you and which is very comical. And then there is Akshay Kumar, Sunil Shetty, and they bring the flavors and feels into it, and then you guys laugh, and that's what I admire most. That any actor who brings the scene, the script into the reality, I'm your fan. It's like I'm your fan. If you can bring this words written on the paper, and if you can bring it into the life, if you can convert this thing into reality, I'm your fan. Like I that's why I admire. That's what makes me admire actors.
Great examples. Do you have the same inspirations, would you say, or different
What
ones?
what about me, Vikrant? What about me,
Are
Vikrant?
Baba,
What is about me?
Baba,
I bring a
Baba.
lot of
I
things into reality, man. What about
Yeah, that's
joking,
why
man?
that's why we are still connected. That's why we I always admire that recently he got a nomination in one of the awards, and I nominated you, Bab. I voted for you, Bab.
So you're each other's inspirations. What about you, Hush? Do you have
Yes.
some overlap with some of his inspirations? Do you have different ones?
For me, that is very subjective because I like performances. I don't like particular actors. So at a very young age, I got to know, I used to follow many actors like Irfan Khan, Shah Rukh Khan, and Kader Khan, Govinda, and everyone, who are really great in the cinema. So, but at a very young age, I realized, you know, if I follow these people, I lose my charm. I lose who I am. And that shows, somewhere in my acting, in my nuances, whatever I do on screen. So I like actors, I like performances, but I don't, I can't say that this is really good, this is really bad, or I can't choose one. So for me, performances are bigger than and individuals. So for me, that is your answer.
I love both of your answers. Well thought out. And while we're on the road to build awareness on the school system, let's talk about mental health and awareness on that. How do you guys do what you're doing and also care for your well being?
That's a really good question. And I really like, whenever we are in an interview, people always ask, how you make things, how is your working experience with particular actor, or how you feel after getting so much fame or so much appreciation for everything. I think, in interviews, people should ask these kind of questions because we are public figures. We need to speak, we need to have an opinion about it. So I feel, this is really important, for not even actors, for everyone, I think even in offices, they should have a therapist. You know, I feel this personally that, in offices, they should have a therapist, that, in a week or in a month, they ask their employees to how they are feeling, eh, how they are coping with everything, the work is, good or not, or whatever. So in India, if you ask your friends that I'm not feeling good and this is bothering me, they'll tell you, okay, come, daru pite, come, let's drink. You don't even have people to, talk about it. And as an actor, it's a very big responsibility on you to always look good, smile, always treat people in a good manner, even if you are fucked here. Sorry to use this word, but it's so much going in here. It's so much going in here. I feel that as an actor, it's really difficult to juggle both the things because people always ask you, okay, what's next? Bro, I just got a release a week back. Let me breathe. Even if my musician's friend, they just launched an album and people come and ask them, what's next? Bro, it takes time for creativity to, comes out. It takes time. So that is something, that people should be aware of. So that is that is something. Sorry, मैं बहुत बह गया इसमें, and but yeah, that is that is
No,
it.
it's totally understandable because you're passionate about it clearly because it's frustrating, and I only respect the fact that you are open enough to share that it's frustrating. Thank you, Vikrant.
Yeah, I would totally agree with Harsh. Whatever he has said, it's really true. And even I do feel some kind of pressure here too, because when you do such kind of films or such kind of projects, people expect that you will do something bigger. And in that process, you take it too seriously that I have to give something better to the people. I need to give that kind of benchmark to the people. But they don't understand that we also have our lives, we also have a personal life privacy thing, and which they invade it. And I feel like this social media thing is also having pros as well as cons. Cons are the more, because there are people do what not stuff you can't imagine. People do many stuff on social media and they are in the trend, and due to which people get influenced and do wrong stuff. So I feel like social media in lockdown due to lockdown also, social platforms got boosted up. So due to which people started doing what not things you can't even imagine what they are doing. And they labeled it as that it's an entertainment, it's for entertainment purpose. But then it creates pressure on the people who aren't growing very well in this field, because it's kind of pressure. So due to which we are pressurized that you have to do certain things which you don't like even.
Yeah, it's a journey. It's a long process, and I can only salute you
Mhm.
to opening up that area. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's
Mhm.
uncomfy, it's personal, but we're gonna get more uncomfortable and more personal. You guys are younger actors than most people hit the screens in Bollywood, so I want to talk about child stars, young actors, actresses, and how hectic and just crazy it can be for youngsters on the screen. They don't know what's happening to them. They don't know if they're getting used, abused. How do you guys feel about child actresses and actors, and how was your experience being a young adult actor on in Bollywood?
So it's like, yeah, I have been into this, like the abuses you are saying. Yeah, when I was like young, in like 15, 16 years, I started my journey at 12, when I was 12 years old. But when I say I went like I aged like 14, 15, 16 years old. There were abuses, like people used to tease me in not a good manner, and I didn't feel like, but still I was like, I'm here because of acting, doing acting I love, which I love most, for which I'm passionate. So I should ignore that. At that time, like it's like 2014-15 thing. That at that time, this topic wasn't into that kind of awareness level, which right now it is. So I was like, okay, let's just ignore it. I communicated with my parents that these things have happened to me. They took the action. They took it in a very serious note. Even in school, these things have happened to me because of my uh, body. I used to look chubby. Now that I have lost some weight.
You have lost a lot of weight. I've seen your pictures. He's too good. I saw him the other day and I was like, what? What happened to him? He's so good and I'm very proud of you, man. And like you did that and that's really
Thanks,
great.
mate.
Sorry. Yes, continue.
Thanks, man. No problem. No problem. That's fine. Thank you. And also that I have seen people, youngsters, who are being abused, but they still don't open up because they are like, we want to create a good career. We have to have a good start into this industry, because due to which, in future they'll like just ignore this. Let's not just get into that kind of stuff. I have seen few actors, but yeah, this thing still happens in Bollywood. And here in Mumbai also there are people that they take undue advantage of you by saying that we'll give you work, we'll give you this and that, and people fall in the trap. There are fraudster messages that are circulating in WhatsApp groups, and many whatnot groups, that be aware, be aware. They might fraud with money, they might abuse you, verbally abuse you, but still, the people are a little blind. They fell into the trap.
Yeah.
So this is what things happen,
Yeah.
but not in very regular manner. Now that people are getting aware of this thing, they are like, dude, just get off. I am not interested into this stuff. If you want to give me genuine work, I'll be a very good person to work with you, but then if this is what you want, I'll back off myself.
Yeah.
So people are getting aware of this because of some other people's experience.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, the age of like social media where people can reach out and it spirals quickly, and people with news outlets and all of that. And I'm gonna say that it happens in Hollywood. We're no better. North America has not progressed. What about yourself, Harsh? How young did you start acting, and did you experience any of the negative aspects that child actors do?
So when I started acting, I was 8. So I used to do theater that time, and I want to say few things that theater saved me from all this. Even if I get into films and I started doing cinema, and I got to know about things. I've done few films when I was 13, 14. I was still doing theater. So I was meeting people, who really discouraged me for what are you doing and all that. And so the best part about all this is that my parents were not aware of anything, because they were only aware that I'm doing this, I like this, and I want to pursue this, because I have so much interest in this rather than anything. So what I have experienced in my life, touch wood, I have not got any backlash, uh, because of because the best part about it is my look has changed all the years. That is the advantage. When I got the role for Hichki, didn't even know that I'm the guy who did the film called I Am Kalam, and so they thought I'm some new actor. After like 10 days of shooting, I told them that I'm this guy and this, and even after they asked me, then I told them what I have experienced in my life, and it's so cruel, that parents, you know, who let their kids to add films, cinema, and everything, they are stealing their innocence and childhood. They teach you even how to speak at the tender age of 6, 5, 4, 3. If you talk to them, they literally talk to you. Yes, tell me. You are not expecting something from a child. You are not expecting something like that from a child, because that is something very disturbing. Because that is not something you are expecting. You are expecting, if you are saying hi to a kid, he or she will say hi cutely or something, or do something that amaze you by their innocence and cuteness or something. In this line, they teach you how to operate, they teach you how to talk in a manner. They make you a full professional. Parents, because they are making money out of you, I request them, let your kid decide. If they get one opportunity, they get one ad, they start channelizing them, they start business out of them. That is not something you should do with your child. That is very disturbing. So I'm very 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 opposed towards it, and I don't really support it. It's happening even now after all this social media, reels, TikTok. The small kids are, getting exploit and all those things. They are making videos and everything. That is not, like, let them do that. Let them do that. I'm not saying like, okay, that I'm an actor. I'm not saying, that oh, he should not do that or he should not. Let them do that. You don't decide on their behalf. You don't decide that. That is something very, disturbs me as an as a human. Yeah, that is it.
Well said. And thank you for speaking on a very touchy topic. And I know it's like a very emotional one and controversial, but thank you. I agree with all your points. I feel like they should not be exploited. They should not be pushed towards that. There's many ways where you can show a child on screen without having maybe someone so young, maybe not on screen for too long, giving them their all labor law rights, so on and so forth. Let's talk about with movies like Tare Zameen Pe, Noblemen, and Hichki. Do you envision way down the line of India's approach towards education alter for the better, or do you see that it's not going to change anytime soon?
What I feel, that cinema can make a mark, make a move. It can't change thinkings. It can't change how one person operates. You know, people doesn't even know before COVID that there are web series, there are good things on the internet that are, suffering to someone watch it or anything. So past 2 3 years they are learning the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason that they are not accepting any trash, because they want to consume something new.
Mm-hmm.
From all these years we are only serving as Indian cinema: dance, romance, dance, romance, college, dance, romance, college, love, college, romance. What about the other topics? Where are they? Why you are not making something out of it? There are thousand stories, there are million stories out there that you can make film of,
Mm-hmm.
but you are not doing it. So it's taking time here, but I think they will reach eventually organically. You can't force them. They'll learn it according to, you know, because in India, people only do things when they are, seeing someone else doing it. Oh, okay, this is something. Oh, he's doing. Okay, I should also do that. I should also go tomorrow for a that the homo parade. Let's go it tomorrow because someone else is doing it. That's how they operates. I don't know how other people and in other countries how they are operating, but I can tell about my country that
Mm-hmm.
how they operates. So it's taking time, but really reach. But it's taking time. But I can see that there are results, that they want new stuff. So eventually they'll reach there also.
I totally agree with him because things are taking time because as he said before COVID there was no this thing awareness thing we never had. We only thought that okay there is this ad TV serials and movies, but then after COVID then as he said web series came out and people got to know. So it's all about the awareness thing how you take it up to the mark. There are people this it looks like you know you do the everything in a perfect way to push your message towards people, but they don't take it into the reality because they don't take it as real because they think okay this is a model, okay this is a model perfect model and we can be perfect like that. We don't, I don't even expect to do that same perfect way, but at least have take initiative to do like that. And like movies like Tare Zameen Par and HK, these are small beans that are being, you know, put it into the soil to grow in a such a manner that the message is clear out there to the people that okay, their change can be done, but it takes time. It will take its own time to come up to the people. Like, you know, people in India are a little slow, they are a little late with everything. Like, you know, whether to reach somewhere, 5-10 minutes there will be late. So it's like that, we are little late, but we'll take it, we'll get it the things done and clear.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with the points that we're getting there. It's going to take a while. We're down to our final question. Are we ready?
Mhm.
So, we may get into some hot water for this next one. It's a little controversial, but we have to discuss it. And that is Bollywood, for a little over a decade now, has not felt the same. And I feel like you guys agree with that from the conversation we had throughout this interview. Why do you think that Bollywood is so stubborn with adapting different topics? Like you mentioned, Harsh, that why the romance, why the college, why the same love, drama, dance, all of that. Why are we stubborn in this once time of like 60s to 90s successful era when people want what Hollywood is producing and their TV series and all the new different topics and niches? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
It's about the consumers, you know, it's about who are consuming it. Why they will work hard if people are so I'm saying it, but if people are so stupid that they don't want to see anything else, if you show them a good independent film, if you show them a, a film that has no love or a dance number or whatever, they call it a bore film. It's a bore film.
Hmm.
What it's a bore film. So why they will make it? Because they are also doing something, to take money out of it. Why they will produce something like that people doesn't want to consume? So that is the reason big productions are not into making, no, used to, I will not say now, used to making good cinema, because now they are very keen, because past 3 years of COVID, now they got the lesson that you can't fool them. You need stories, you need screenplay, you need actors to do that for you. So that is the reason, if, see, it's very simple. If I can get something in 5 rupees, why will I give 10? So they know that people are coming to watch the catharsis of cinema, the music and the lights and everything. They don't want to take any message. They don't want to see good film. They just want to entertain themselves. That's why they were making all of these. And they are serving it from 100 years in different manners. And there is a villain, there is a girl, there is a boy, there is a love story. They are serving it in another city, another place, in a different manner, and people are consuming it. If you eat something on a daily basis that is exactly the same but with the different ingredients, people, and I'm enjoying it, why would someone give me some other kind of dish? So that is the reason. And now it's changing. It's not very controversial or anything for me, because I'm very out of it. I don't want this. I want to do something. I'm doing acting for myself. I'm not doing it to, you know, impress anyone. I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my craft because I love it. I like it.
See, my most of the points are being covered by Hirsch. Like, you know, I agree with him. You know, because if you see the evolution, if you see evolution of Indian cinema, like the movies which were released in 60s, in 90s, 80s, there were no nudity scenes. There were no bad scenes. Even if our Indian movies used to have kiss, there were flowers come in front of the screen, or the umbrellas used to come in this on screen. So people used to get that, okay, this something happened, which is very private. But then now it's like it's everything open, like whatever people see on internet, on the websites, they it's like Indian cinema, not Indian cinema, I would say, people here are creating that kind of product, which leads to the bad mind, I can say, which leads to the high dopamine release. And
They just took the intimacy and kisses from West, not the creativity.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's not our invention, cases are not our invention, but still our Indian culture has so many things to give it. There are a lot of Indian culture things that we can give it to the people, but we all are stuck into something, like as he said, Hollywood movies aren't made for monies, they are made for art. Like if you watch movies of Quentin Tarantino, Martin Sorceress, those are artistic movies. And even in India, the indie movies, independent movies, those are like, people like, why are we seeing this kind of movies? These movies are incomplete. These movies doesn't have garam masala, or this, not many factors incomplete. Due to it, they don't understand what the art, the director, the writers want to show. Like, those movies are incomplete because it's what it is. This is what the art, this is what they had in their mind, and that's what they are showing, that's what they are representing you, uh, to show you. And that's the thing I feel like, in India, in these movies are like, aren't taking us into the right way. Like, showing inappropriate things on the screen, doing whatnot stuff on the screen. So I feel like, yeah, this not isn't leading anywhere. There are good topics out there which we can make movie, and there are people making good movies, and you can see the results on the screen, and people love it. Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for your very in depth answers and for joining me on this interview today. This was a lovely conversation. I really enjoyed talking to you and I enjoy all of your works. To the listeners, do you guys want to share your Instagram handle so they can follow and support you?
Yes, you guys can follow me on Hanji Harsh at HAANJIHARSH. Hanji Harsh.
People who are listening this and watching this, you can follow me on Vikrant Soni. There's a double A in my name. It's VIKR Vikrant Soni.
Lovely. Thank you so much once again, guys, for joining me. This was a lovely chat, and I hope nothing but the best and success for your careers.
Same for you, Shanze. It was really good to have you. Like, first interview with Influencers. It's my first interview, like, I'm having here, and it's the international. You are from Canada, and it will be really close to my heart because this interview will be the first. It's international, and people who are watching this, thank you for joining us, and thank you, Shanze, for giving me chance and Harsh by chance to be on this. And yeah,
Thank you.
and all the
Well,
best for the future, and may God bless you, and take care. Bye. Take care.
Yes, thank you, Shanzi. Take care.